Run away, run away. I have a very special guest. He knows so much about everything. And not only does he know so much about everything, he knows the behind the scenes, just like smart people like to work, you know what I mean? Like the back burner kind of stuff that's going on. But it's just like, it's politics. It's mostly just like a corporation. It's not like, it's like some devious, crazy, like untold story. You people work for those industries every single day, and you people don't call them out. And you people sit there on the internet watching those shorts, right? You guys are the ones that are acting like you're not living that life. So he's a producer. He is kind of runs his own like empire. He never wants to work for anyone. So anybody that is in our like little circle that can appreciate that should appreciate that. But I'm sure they'll find some reason to hate. Right now, there's a woman online. She's hating on me right now, but that's what goes with the territory, right? Fuck her. This is what's gonna happen every time you make a YouTube video and you stand up for yourself. You're gonna have some crazy in delusion, like insane woman, right? Making videos about you. And I haven't even made any videos. I'm just doing trial and error periods. Can you imagine like, ugh. Anyway. So yeah, he's the producer of Miami. He's one of them, and he remains low key. He is the producer. Oh, good. That was you guys like that background music? I do. Even know if I'm live. See, it said no. Yeah. Well, if it hits, it hits. Maybe I should go on Discord. I should have done that anyway, but I didn't. But that's probably better anyway. I don't really want a lot of people to see this. I get shy. But okay, he's a director. He also is a content master in my mind. He is so good at creating content, and he's worked on many films. I actually did my first article in a magazine. No, it wasn't my first. That was my second. My first one was about my dog on South Beach Time magazine. She's famous now. I can't play the song. But yeah, she He's doing great. Anyway, the director. Yeah, he's been a director for like 20 years. And I met him 11 years ago. He's a very good friend of mine. I remember working with him before any of this happened. We have our own storyline on how we worked in the film industry. I would say the film industry because he's the one that kind of got me working in the film industry as far as movies, but and like commercials. But that was like a long time ago, 9 years ago. So I do my thing. Anyway, yeah, he's a writer too. He's an amazing writer. He wrote whole script on Tupac. So I think that's interesting to, talk about maybe later on his channel. And then he's an amazing writer. He's also a musician. And I feel like we got to give this man a chance to speak on what he says because it's like, I have never heard anyone speak like he does as far as content. I see all these people trying to make content and speaking of um, their points of view, but they're so recycled. You want to meet the most genuine, creative, most inspiring. Well, not inspiring. He's more like, if you got it, you got it. You don't, you don't. He don't play around. Seriously. He doesn't play around. That's why he is like on the level that he's on. But I'm that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, that's pretty smart. All right. So I'm gonna bring him on up. Happy holidays, everybody. And I'm bringing you up. Ruts.
Hey, Sherelle.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, excited, fun to talk to you about all this
Too.
crazy, fun stuff that's happening right now. It's kind of, it's just hilarious a little bit. But,
Yeah.
it's
I
a
didn't
good
even
time.
bring up the Jay-Z stuff, and I didn't bring up Jaguar Wright and how
Uh,
she's connected and how, we got this whole thing with P. Diddy over there in Miami and LA. So
yeah, it's just one of those things you don't know. We didn't know we're going to end up where we are. We didn't know. For me, at least personally, I didn't know if Jaguar Wright was telling the truth. Like, I would just look at her videos and be like, I don't know. I don't know if she's legit, because there's so much going on in her stories. Her stories will take you to like the other realm, and you'd be like, man, she started off good, and then she ended up like, not saying she's lying, but it's just one of those things where you couldn't keep up with Jaguar, right? There was always something else, and the way that she released her stuff was very strategic too. It was very like, I'm in this podcast. She didn't even have her. I was like, you can't even Instagram. I don't even know if she has an Instagram page of her own. To this day, I never seen her own YouTube channel. She's always gone through
really?
some other. I can't find it, and if it exists,
Okay.
it doesn't have her own content
I
on it.
love her for that. I love
Yeah,
her
I
for that.
think
Yeah.
she's on other platforms that are paying her. She's making money off this, obviously. All these people who are doing the what I call the YouTube circuit. You end up
Mhm.
on Vlad, you end up on Art of Dialogue, you end up on live production, all these guys. But it's a business. It's a whole other business model. Like people don't even understand. It's like literally, these guys are getting paid $5,000, $10,000 probably, maybe less. But it doesn't matter. We got someone's gonna sit you down for
So
an
let me ask
hour.
you a question before we move on a little bit forward.
Yeah,
Okay. So obviously YouTube is making a sensation in every kind of industry, even like to where is Fox? Fox News isn't even getting as many hits as American News Network. And what about that guy that blew up? The one that did the Elon Musk, even Donald Trump went on his podcast. What's his
yeah,
name?
they're all struggling. I
How
mean,
in
you
the
got
heck where am I? He's a wrestler. You work, with those people. What is it?
Jesse
Um,
Ventura.
no, the one that has a podcast.
Oh, okay, I know
What?
you're talking about Chael
It's
Sonnen.
slipping my mind right now.
Chael?
No, the big one, the one that has he's getting more views than Fox right now.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people doing that.
It's no. It's
Well, not Fox. Because Fox is
Joe
doing.
Rogan.
Oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, he's not a wrestler. Joe Rogan is a comedian turned podcaster turned. He's actually like a real legit actor, really, because he actually was a sitcom actor and news radio and all this. So I don't think people understand how he came up. Like he has a really interesting story because he didn't come
Really?
up like out of nowhere. Yeah, he literally was in sitcom, so old show called News Radio. So he came up the old Hollywood way, where you do a TV show. He was a real comedian. He got, then this came out of like the podcast thing came out of, at least my opinion, out of the fact that he was doing the UFC fights. He did that for free for a long time, whatever, for a year or two, because he loved it. He just loves MMA. He wanted to be in that space, and then
Hmm.
they just kept him. He got blessed. UFC blew. Remember, UFC wasn't a big thing right away. It took a long
So
time because
he was
people.
not in the UFC one.
No, he
But
worked. He works for them now full time, of course, but or not full time, but he's a big deal in UFC because he's one of the commentators. But he started off in television as an act as a sitcom actor, as an
mm,
actor, just a regular actor. This guy's like, comedian actor, which is whole different thing. That means he was at all the comedy shops and comedy, locations that you had
I
to go
didn't
to make it happen. So he came up the hard way, man. That guy came up the hard way. Like there's nothing harder in business, I think, than comedian life. I have friends who are
no,
comedians,
yeah, it's gotta be the
and
hardest thing
it's
ever.
really hard. Like I have friends who are successful, like, but I know what he went through. Like he was sleeping in couches, sleeping in a car, driving from show to show. You don't get paid.
Oh
You gotta
yeah.
like eat it, because you're probably under a big guy. Usually you end up being under someone bigger than yourself, and they'll get you through it. But they're not gonna give you like a king size bed, and they're gonna be like, you're on the road with us, So yeah.
So like how long ago was that before he got his break? Because he did get a good break, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Even
But I
I
think
think Meghan Markle, I just want to say for the record, and Henry got the same kind of break, but they could not do anything with their
no, too different.
podcast.
No, I think it's different though, because I mean,
Okay.
Joe Rogan, like I said, he came up the old school way. I think he had other things he did as well besides news radio,
Yeah.
but he came up in a way where, like I said, was just like you're a hungry comedian actor, and But when you
Right.
have when you have a show that he had, because his show was like a show that had syndication at one point, that like actually had that traditional Hollywood support, like in the sense that you have episodes coming on, you get paid when there's syndication through SAG. Like he came up with a wave where it was like you can be healthier as an actor, I guess, and after a while, and
When would
build
you
up.
say that was though
What do
with
you mean?
him? Because Joe Rogan went through so many periods.
I think the last 8 years, last 8-10 years with the
Yeah.
podcast. I mean, podcast is something that I'm sure he didn't even think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the biggest. That doesn't make any sense 10 years ago. Like to be the biggest bot, like that's something that came out through naturally through YouTube, through the way the algorithm has been working to make people watch longer, videos on there little by little. We all kind of like got used to them because YouTube started as a short video. You would watch a
Cat.
short dumb video like a cat or whatever, but now you're watching long form stuff, right, all the time. And so it was all kind of like a perfect storm. You know what I mean? I think for him it was a perfect storm scenario. You already had a name. People mind you already had a whole base of dudes, mainly dudes, right, who watch him on UFC fights, who like him, his
Oh.
commentating, and then boom, he does a podcast. It was just, I think that mixture, right, of like, oh, I see you on the fights, right, and now and again, he has some of the best guests because he brings in fighters, right, he brings the people around that space, right, and comedians because think about it, he has a great pool of people to pull from, right. He's a
Yeah.
comedian, so he can bring his comedians in all the time because he's a comedian,
He's
and
extremely,
you
yeah,
know
yeah, talented.
and then he also is a fighter. So, um, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Like he had such a great set. He has a great setup. He has a great setup to like get great guests and things of that nature. But then, of course, after that, he blew up and he's in a whole nother sphere now. So, I think he was kind of the beginning of that. But again, but he's not like a lot of these new guys. He didn't come in through he's not like a Theo Vaughn or one of these guys that like just came up through the internet. He literally came up the old school way
No. Yeah,
and
that's
just
true.
maintained it.
I can
Maintained it.
respect that.
That's really, I think it's a cool story. Yeah, he literally came up like,
Yeah.
he came up the old school way somehow through him believing in the UFC, gave him a whole nother life, right? To like
So that's
become
where
a
he found
podcaster.
his like whole new other life, huh?
Yeah, I think
Was
it's where his identity that we know him as now, definitely comes from fighting.
isn't that crazy?
Definitely comes from the UFC because like we all
So
like
do you
him.
think like because of his setup and his platform and um how he was commercialized, advertised, and how he was maintained throughout all of local networks and media and newspapers and everything back then. Do you think that that establishment, all that establishment, had something to play on with him getting this huge contract? And
So
then him
sort. I
playing off
mean,
to what's going on now. Do you think he's sold out completely?
nothing. I
Because I
mean,
feel like he's doing better than Fox.
well, I mean, it's two different worlds. I mean, it's hard to compare those two. But not even that, like he's doing really good for himself, you know, for sure.
That's how it goes.
You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but like, look, you got to think about it this way: like, this is somebody that was a liberal for real. Like, remember, this is a dude really from Hollywood, right? Like in Hollywood land, you
Facts.
know. And I'm looking at the comments here, and I see Sean. He's right. I forgot
It's
about fear.
okay. Sean
No, that's
is
good.
cool.
No, yeah, I forgot about Fear Factor. So that's a good point.
Mhm.
But see, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he came up to like stand up, news radio, Fear Factor, like MTV pushed him. You know, he has so many different pushes in his career in different audiences, right? That
Mhm.
so when it's almost like when he got the UFC thing going, he got that because he was a name already himself, right? Like they're not going to put, even though they were struggling, they weren't just going to put anybody on there, right? They're going to put somebody on there that made sense for their
Oh yeah,
business,
that's
right?
right. Fear Factor. That's
Right.
crazy.
So to me, it's like because of all the hard work he did already and all the credits he already had, it made sense to put him on there. They're not going to just put a nobody on there. He wasn't a nobody when the UFC put him on there. Like they actually told him, "Hey, we can't pay you." He said, "I'll do it for free." You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to come up with them, and he did. Now he's like, he's the man on UFC. He's the man
I did
that
not know that.
he's the man that interviews all the winners and losers at the end of a fight. You know what I mean? Like he loves his job, I'm sure, because he loves fighting. He loves that space. So
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he gets to do something that he loves to get paid to do it. But again, it's just a cool story. I think because he
it
came up
really is.
the old-fashioned way, right? And comedian
So I'm going to
slash
say right
actor.
now, just while we're talking about the old-fashioned way and his history, I just want to like say this to you because now people are hating on him so hard. They're saying, "Oh yeah, they're propping him up. They're doing this. They're doing that for Joe Rogan. They're this and they're that." Do you think that he's super propped up because obviously he made some really good business decisions, and I would not ever in my life not take it up if I was able to do it. Well, maybe I would have if I was with somebody
Yes,
that I love, but
like the only reason they're saying that right now about Joe Rogan is because of the election. That's it. This has nothing to do with anything else. They loved Joe Rogan before. He was one of them. He's a liberal. He was one of them for real. Like he was. First of all, most comedians are liberal. There's just a very hard for most successful comedians to be conservative. There's fake conservatives, but most comedians are liberal because liberal comedy where it is right now is really like how nasty, how crazy can you talk, how it's not like smooth, smart. It's really like how crazy can you get with it, how kind of
one,
like X-rated can you get with it.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, I think this is all about the election. There's nothing else. Remember, because he endorsed Trump a day before or 2 days before the election. Um, you know, they, she tried to go on this. Kamala Harris tried. Well, Kamala Harris is crazy because she wanted to do the show, but she wanted to do only 45 minutes,
I know.
and he had to like fly out to her to do it. Just crazy control, crazy people stuff, old school media stuff that they wanted to do, and he's like, "Nah, go to hell," you know. And then the worst thing about something like that is that he talked about it. He didn't just keep it to himself. Like he told everybody in the world like what Kamala Harris was asking for to be on his show. Like, hey, they want to control. They want a final cut. They want a final cut of the show, meaning that they do the interview, but she can say, "Oh, don't release that. Don't
Oh
release
yeah,
this." So compared to Trump, who did 3 hours nonstop, literally. So
yeah. That's a
it,
good yeah. Like people don't even like think about that stuff
yeah.
that
So
you're talking about right now. Keep going.
yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think that whole thing is it's all about Trump. This is all about Trump. Now, again, the same thing like Elon Musk, while they're attacking Twitter, I'm sorry, X, because people are like, oh, we're gonna leave X and go to the other whatever the liberal Twitter. I don't even know what it's called. I don't care to know what it's called. I'm never gonna go there. It's like it's the stupidest thing
Really?
ever. You know, there's
I
a real
wait. The man, did you just say you're never going to Twitter?
no. I'm never going to liberal Twitter. I don't know what it's
Oh, okay,
called. There's
okay.
whatever. There's a new one that's out there that the liberals are going to.
I
You
don't
got
even know about it.
yeah. There are people like
That's scary.
well, ever since Elon Musk supported Trump, all these liberals, even some of the cities and states that are liberal, are like, oh, we're leaving X. It's too toxic here. you know, it's too toxic here, so we're gonna go. So they're all. This is the dumbest thing ever because they're all gonna hang out on this little this is the stupidest crap.
I'm worried about that.
They're all gonna hang out on their little like corner and just
Yeah,
like
that's what
all
they
like
do.
and talk about how
They
great
got
they
to figure
are.
things out now. They got to reconfigure everything in their brains
You know,
with everything that's going on with like local social media right now with like all the things that are trending.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
like I
with
said,
the Democrats. Don't you see that the Democrats are like, oh yeah, or like no,
well,
with Trump.
no, right now they're two kind of Democrat things they're doing right now. Some people are kissing butt trying to
Mhm.
get a job. Like there's some people you can tell like the mayor of New York right now is like trying to like get in with Trump for sure. Like I can see that he's like,
Okay.
yo, I'm like whatever you want to do. You want to grab these
Try
immigrants.
to.
I'm all for it. He's like I'm ready to grab the immigrants with you, Trump.
Mhm.
So like and then you have the other ones who are still like foaming at the mouth, saying dumb stuff like, "Oh my God, how did this happen?" and "Oh, he's a criminal," all this dumb crap. But they have
Right.
no leg. They have no leg to stand on. After Biden did the whole "pardon your son" thing, like you guys are done. You
Did
guys
you
are.
see who Kamala,
Mm,
what is it? That word? Like who she like didn't what is it in oh, sorry. She what is it?
mm.
Like she like the same thing that Donald Trump did to what's his face? God, I'm getting nervous right now. I hate that. This is
To,
what
to,
I gotta go
to
over.
who?
With the one that got arrested the night that we were over there and I was doing productions over at Rolling Louds.
You call that black? You mean?
Kodak Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he got pardoned. Thank you. Hello. So yeah, so Kamala Harris pardoned her nephew
Oh, no,
from Chicago.
I haven't heard about that, but
Yeah, what's his name?
yeah.
Smollett. Smollett got
No, but
pardoned.
that's not. He didn't get pardoned. He just got. That's just corrupt Chicago. That's nothing. That's not a pardon. That's just Chicago. When I
That's
saw
her
that,
nephew.
I mean, I'm gonna be surprised, but that lady,
Yeah, that's
that
true.
whole, yeah,
From what
that
I
makes that makes sense. I mean, like I said, that's a weirdo. That whole situation is jacked up because Chicago looks
and then
embarrassed.
mhm.
Like you guys are gonna let that? They're gonna like, oh, that they're gonna put under the rug, whatever you want to call it. That was a disaster. I saw that I was like, man, you guys are really a joke. Chicago is a dump, and now you
Yeah,
guys are pathetic
the
because
joke.
it's like you let this guy go, and but you're gonna try to like. I mean,
Something's
Chicago's
wrong with
it's a
you.
wreck. I can't even make sense of it. Yeah, that was dumb. That wasn't even the party. That was just them being like bad Democrats. Like, oh, you know what? We're gonna just let him go. And then, but again, it's just following the trend, just like
Uh-huh.
Biden pardoning his son. That was the first one that happened. Actually, that happened first, and then the pardoning of
You
Biden
question since
happened.
we kind of have like introductions with Kodak Black. Do you think Kodak Black? Why would you think that Donald Trump pardoned Kodak Black? Was it
Um,
because
I think because he's from Florida, and I think because there's a coalition in Florida, Pompano especially. It's South Florida is a very tight knit community, especially with people that have money. Let's just leave it like that. I'm not gonna say what this, that, or the other because I don't want to say anything that's not true. But if you have money in Florida and you're part of a good amount of some good people, you know what I'm saying?
that's
Because
everywhere?
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but not so much like in this sense. You know what I mean?
I
Like
don't know. I don't think so because I think in Florida you can get away with a lot
no,
more if you know people.
oh,
Out where I'm at, like right
yeah.
now, for the moment,
Mm.
it doesn't matter who you know. They're all snakes. They're all gonna fight with each other. It doesn't matter if you're a government official or if you live in that community, yeah, they might stick up for you a little bit more. But I don't like I'm living in a more white place too, so maybe I shouldn't even speak because I was living in a black,
Well, what
more
I think
dominant area.
I
But
just think I think that he look those circles. I'm just trying to say in Florida, if you have money, you're gonna run through a lot of the same circles, especially if you're entertaining,
yeah.
right? And obviously he's an entertainer. I know. I'm sure Trump people knew his people. Then Pompano's not that far from
Remember
Mar-a-Lago,
when Trump was
so
like he was in his private jet and he flew over the ones that you were filming for, the kids, I'm not gonna say their names.
mm,
And he even tweeted back then about how proud he was for those kids that you were doing footage for.
yeah. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
yeah.
He stands up for all those kids, and Kodak Black is a big part of that community, and he helps out so much.
that's what I'm trying
So
to say.
that's where
I
I
think,
want to get into the Jaguar thing,
yeah.
maybe.
But that makes sense to me, though. I think that's one of the reasons I would say he got let go. Like he does enough that he can prove it, and also, like I said,
He does.
it was also like a chance for Trump to be political, in a smart way. That's all. Like, I'm gonna help. Okay, what are you gonna
How
if
would
you
that make him be smart, though?
because you're
With Kodak Black, he's
trying to
dumb
reach
as
the
a box
African
of
trying
rocks.
to reach African American. No, I don't think he's dumb. Trying to reach the
Okay, well,
African
you would know.
community. Yeah, because like to say someone's dumb, it means like I met Kodak Black. I've been in the same room with him, and I was really impressed for his work ethic. I was just
Okay.
sitting there like watching this young dude, right? I'm in the studio there, and he started to work. He was writing a verse for this rap song. He was so focused. His homies were there, but his homies didn't bother him. He didn't talk to them much. He just got in his pen and pad. He would talk to himself. Then we would go in the booth. He was so like on point. I was like, man, I couldn't really hate on that because a lot of times people be hanging out and just ha ha ha. He was not like that at all. Like he's like, I'm gonna write this verse. I'm gonna get up out of here. Like we're gonna have a good time, but we're not gonna be
He
here hanging
did. He
out
was
smoking weed all day.
professional.
Like we're gonna knock this verse out, have fun, and keep it moving. So I was impressed that day because you never, until you meet him, you don't know. But then I don't think he's dumb. I
So
think
now
he's
can I ask you another question? This is
yeah.
gonna probably bother you a little bit because it's hitting nerves.
Mm.
But I know you worked at a lot of studios, and I'm asking you about the one where there was a shooting. Was that shooting because of Kodak Black?
No, not at all. No, nope.
Who
No,
was
they
it
shouldn't.
because of?
Some other artists, you know what I mean? And went to
But who was it? Was it a younger artist?
no, just a lot of like young artists, complications type of stuff, people
Mhm.
you got, just the wrong mix of people, sometimes. But that
It's
everything
true. It happens everywhere.
yeah, I mean that's changed a lot even over there, thank God. So that doesn't happen
There's
anymore. But
cameras everywhere. There's a flat building. There's like snipers on the roofs and stuff of studios nowadays. But
yeah, it's just yeah,
yeah,
it's a big difference. I mean, again, that whole I mean, look, it used to be so much worse. When I came up in the game, like there was like madhouse. I'm talking about like people would just be threatening people. Like I got threatened before by a owner of one of the biggest rap magazines. So he said he's gonna put a
no.
pencil. It was one of the guys that owned the source. He told me he's
Are
gonna.
you kidding me?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I
I'm mad.
referenced so much of my childhood too, and my family, my mom even had to subscribe to the source because I was such a
Yeah,
source fan.
that when my first place I interned was for them. My first internship was for the owner of the source. It was in Miami, downtown near the Omni, and
Hmm.
I interned there. I did videos for him and everything behind the scenes of one of his albums, and they wanted me to finish the work, and they didn't want to pay me, so I said
Of course.
I dipped, and I said whatever, screw you guys, and then they started calling me like, you don't get back over here, I'm gonna stab your face with a pencil. I'm like, what the? Let's take your eye. I was like threatening like some crazy stuff, like what are you gonna do to me?
Juan, do you
But
remember when I did that Marilyn Monroe shoot?
yeah,
And they offered me a flight to LA,
mm,
and I took it, and it was for the it was for the Anna Nicole movie. This was kind of like right before we really met. But that was the most fucked up experience I've ever had. Because how are you gonna fly me to LA? And then how are you gonna sit there and say, "Oh, you're gonna be a part of the body double," like Anna Nicole Smith was to Marilyn Monroe, and I'm
mm,
Sherelle Snow to Anna Nicole, and then I'm looking at the whole set. I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm like so excited. I get to LA, and then I set myself up in the hotel. I have everything, ready for the next day. I have the most beautiful, beautiful, amazing dresses. And then I have him. Well, I should probably talk a little bit more about what happened. I do not talk in detail very well, and that does get me in trouble. I just like to jump to the freaking point, and that is a problem. Maybe it's a problem. I just like to talk that way because it just gets to the extent of the whole situation, and I don't have to keep going on and on and on. So you guys know. But when I was there, I remember this is the scene that you're going to be doing. And it was walking up the stairs and walking down the stairs. And it was like a younger version. And then I was pouring tea. That was going to be my whole scene. And it was kind of like a dream scene of Anna Nicole Smith. But I remember Joseph Nassar, his name is Joseph Nassar. He was the producer of the movie.
Yeah.
And he was the one that made sure I got flown out. And the neighbors was the Osbournes. And I didn't really care back then at all. Like I felt like it was natural, like it was just a part of who I was, like in my own imagination or my brain or who I was growing up. Like like when like he's a director, producer, and all this stuff, like you kind of just have this brain of like thinking, that's what it's supposed to be, and this is normal, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm hearing the Osbournes and I'm supposed to be shouting or something like I care. I'm like, oh yeah, that I can hear them. I can hear them like shouting like at each other next door. And then I go to my hotel room and I felt uncomfortable because he's like, oh, I'm going to call you later and all this stuff. I'm like, that's fine if he calls me, but I'm not going to be like available that much. And he decided to tell me via text that he was going to bang on my door. Like he was going to come to my door at 2:30 in the morning. And he ended up banging on my door. And at that hotel, it was right across from, of course, the studios. And I was just shocked. I was like, I can't believe this motherfucker. I'm like 24 years old, maybe like, because I've known you. Yeah, I was 24. I'm like, I can't believe he's banging on my fucking door like this. And he thinks he's going to get me kicked out. In my head, I'm like, he can't get me kicked out. And bam, 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 bam. And he goes, you open the door now. Why are you opening the door? I gave you such a beautiful opportunity. Why don't you do this? I'm not opening up the door. And I was so excited that night. You guys, I was trying on these most glamorous, amazing dresses because they used to make dresses so nice back then. Like, and it wasn't very long ago. It was before COVID. But I was like they were breathtaking before this film. And I don't know how I ended up with them, but they were too perfect. Anyway,
I mean, that's how that world is. Though. I mean,
yeah.
that's the natural. I mean, back then, again, our times that we grew up in was way worse. Like now, it's bad still. I'm sure. But it's just now there's more iPhones. There's cameras everywhere. Like back then, it was just like there's so much control over. Like even if someone listening to you, like where will you go? You know what I mean? Like that person can like
Oh, and I was drugged
stop.
twice.
Yeah, people will stop your story.
I
I mean
went,
that.
yeah.
I mean, look at the Diddy thing took 20 plus years. The Weinstein thing, 20 plus years. People were saying all this stuff for years. It just now it comes out because there's a different reason why it came out. We don't know the reason. I think it could be the Ciroc thing
You
for
know what?
Diddy. But
It's bigger than Ciroc, right? It's the ones that own Ciroc.
exactly the ones who own it. I think that could be the main reason. But I don't know why. I think maybe there's more to it
Let's
because
be real.
the Jay-Z thing is interesting where that's gonna go because why did that happen? Like now is he dragging his friends down with him? Like because he had nothing to do with Ciroc from my understanding, but is this such a bad thing where like all his friends are gonna be dragged down because all the footage he has, like it's gonna be some disaster come May 25th when the court that's gonna be a show like we've never seen before.
I don't
May
know.
25th.
What do you think?
Um
May
I
25th?
May 25th, yeah, that's when the court hearing begins.
Of course, they're going to do it on the equinox. like around that same time.
It's just gonna
So
be
that's kind of
interesting.
weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I mean, for sure. Again, we don't know if by that time he's gonna be snitching everybody out. They've already admitted that they found footage in his house. There's footage. There's
Yeah, of
video
course they
footage. There's
do.
all this stuff already found. Who's in there? Who is it? J Lo? Is it this person? Is it that person? That's a whole other thing. But I think like now, look with the Jay-Z thing that happened with the Jaguar, right? Been talking about forever. Was she right?
Was
Like,
she right?
now's the real question. Like, maybe she was. I mean, now it's like she been putting him on blast for a long time. Like, oh, they're gonna come for you next, Jay-Z. Like you hear her every week saying that, and then people were like, nah, nah. People had got mad at me. One of my conversations with
They
my
always
homies.
get mad at you.
Yeah, they
Let
always
me
get
tell
mad at
you,
me.
this producer right here, you guys, if you think that he's a part of all the rap game and all the sectors and all this other stuff, you guys got him wrong. He is, when I met him, I was like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why does he not make any sense? He's never going to make any sense. I'm telling you now. And if you guys want to go toe to toe with him, you guys can do it because I already know. But I'm telling you, like, what he's saying right now is true. And he means what he says 100%, whether you believe it or not.
Well, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, the Jaguar right thing, that was I mean, again, she was obviously on point for a long time. Diddy thing came through, and then everything she said, a lot of stuff she said was true. She linked up with Gene Deal, which I respect a lot. I've been following his story for a long time. I read his book, The Bodyguard, Ex Bodyguard Diddy,
When
and
did you read it?
oh wait, I don't know, like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I've been following him online for a while. But he had one of my favorite YouTube videos because it made me laugh basically because you know it was just dumb. I'm here being an idiot because he had that story of how Biggie died. And it was just one of those like really dark stories, but funny to me at the same time. Is because the way he said it, not because the story's funny, but he'd be saying stuff that just be like, dude, why? He has a story of how Biggie died, and then like Diddy came out of the emergency room, and he's like, hey man, hey Gene, we gotta pray, and Gene's like, pray for what? That nigga is dead. And I pushed him off me. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, see, exactly. I don't even want to laugh at that. But every time I hear that story, I'm like, Lord help me. Because that is epic. Pray for what? That nigga is dead. And I pushed him off me. And I was like,
Oh,
my God. So I've been following Gene Deal since that. But Gene Deal is great to listen to. Like, that guy has catchphrases. I've been trying to reach him for a minute now to make some T-shirts and stuff for real, because he
really?
has. Yeah, I
Maybe I
can't
can
reach.
help you out with that.
Yeah. Someone please find me a number for
Great.
Gene Deal because
No problem.
he has quotes for days. This man has quotes. Like
Okay.
he's got quotes on there. Like what did he say the other day? I'm trying to think of one right now. There's so many. Oh yeah, if when Diddy started getting in trouble, he had that one. Like he got mad at people coming to his live, talking about like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that, that kind of stuff, and just saying all that kind of mess. He's like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. You don't know. And he's like, let me tell you this, man. If a nigga did it, he did it. And that's his Gene Deal. Like he's always gonna say that, but if a nigga did it, he did it. That's something we understand, where I come from, that makes all the sense.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
you know what I'm
There's some
saying?
things that I did not understand about the West Coast versus like living in Florida
See,
that I get now.
Special K knows. He knows it all. He does
Yeah,
know it all,
that's
bro.
my sister. That's
Gene
my
Deal,
love.
Gene Deal.
I
I've
don't see
been,
you, sorry, but I'm glad
been
you're here.
Gene Deal's been ahead of the curve for real. I mean, for a minute, and he's also hilarious. So at the same time, like
Hey, look.
I watch it for both reasons.
Okay.
Because he's super old school, but he's also come from a good place. He came from a place where he saw Biggie get killed. He warned Diddy
Yeah.
that it was a bad idea. They shouldn't be there. He warned Diddy that they don't have enough security. He warned Diddy like, hey, I should stay with him. I should stay with Biggie until they get past the light. And Diddy told him, no, you get in this car right now because he wasn't okay. So Gene Deal
Is this
wasn't.
in the book?
That's in the book, yeah.
Oh,
You know,
We're hearing from the book, you guys.
yeah.
Now we got new. Okay, can you please say that again? Just so that way everybody wraps their brains around, what they hear from social media and the book.
Well, in the book, yeah, that's actually a true story because basically Diddy told him, look, if you don't get in this car right now, Gene, you're fired. You're never gonna work for Bad Boy again. Now, mind you, Gene Deal, like that Biggie was not his principal. His principal was Puff Daddy, so he had to listen. That's his boss, right? His principal, meaning his person that he's bodyguarding, was not Biggie Smalls. It was actually Puff Daddy, so he had to do what his boss
Yeah.
told him to do. But Gene Deal felt responsible for Biggie's death for a long time because of that moment, right? Because he made a decision to get in the car with Puff Daddy, and now he told Biggie's driver, "Hey, jump the next three red lights. Do not stop at the light." So boom, they take off. Biggie and I'm sorry,
Oh
Puff
yeah, I remember that.
and Gene take off, and they pass the red lights, but Biggie's car stays behind, and that's where they caught him at the light. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where he had to live with that, and so of course, out of that frustration, right, he finally opened up. And I remember watching one of his first early interviews of Gene Deal, and it was like, well, okay, this guy's like, you can tell like this means a lot to him. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Special K. Yeah, he does not skip a beat. He's a great interview to watch. Like I said, you listen to that man talk and just laugh, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
he has a lot of character, but also like I said, you can tell he's genuine. You can tell that he really like he's having more fun now because he's making money off of it, which is cool. He earned that right. Because now
That's
like
right. He earned that right. So
he,
all you motherfuckers sitting there saying, "Oh, he's grifting and he's drifting," you guys are nothing but fucking haters. And if they make money off of what they do, then y'all need to keep your damn mouth shut and start doing something. Why do you hate and sit there and not participate? Or why do you guys sit there in the backgrounds and want to sit there and stalk these people? You guys are fucked up. And that's all I'm going to say. Just like Jaguar Wright. I'm brought to you by Jaguar Wright. That's right. Just
well,
saying.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like, look, he
Fuck
put his life on
you.
he put his life on the line. Jaguar Wright put her life on the line. At the end of the day, we know these people are serious people that will kill you. Let's just be honest. Okay. Now, like I said, I've been threatened in the rap industry. Someone tried to beat me up one time. Someone tried to stab me with an eye in my eye, like I told you. And it's just a very tough business because a lot of that gangster machismo bullcrap. Back in the day, especially now, not so much because now you guys are a bunch of punks. A lot of them.
Yeah.
But there are gangsters in there too. It's just different now. It's very young, stupid crap. Like they're gonna get killed for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like you're at the Waffle House and you're gonna get
It's
killed.
true.
It's like what the heck? You know what I mean? So it's like it's very different. We had to like, what I'm saying? Something like our dads were like some crazy like Tupac getting killed on the Las Vegas Strip is very different than getting killed like at some back street of the Waffle House. Like it's a Las Vegas Strip. There's millions of
Amen.
people. It's a Tyson fight. The whole thing sounds like a damn movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get shot at the Tyson fight on the Las Vegas Strip, it sounds like a movie. You know what I'm saying? But if you get shot at the back of that's a bad ending to a movie. Like where's the movie end? The movie ended at the Waffle House. And it's like, bro, that's a trash, bro. That's a cheap, low budget movie you got going on. Where's the movie end? No, the movie ends at the Waffle House because
At the Waffle
you're
House.
talking trash and you get shot, right?
It's at the
And
Waffle House.
you get shot at the Waffle House, and that's the end of the movie, okay? And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
That's
Tupac's
right.
Tupac's ending was epic. You know what I mean? It was like, bro, this guy's ending was at freaking after a Tyson fight, after he hit somebody
Ooh,
and
that
surveillance
Tyson fight, though.
footage. You know what I'm
I want to
saying?
get into that with you, too. What about Tyson and Paul?
Uh,
What about the Tyson and Paul fight compared to the fight that happened in 1996 before Tupac died?
well, no, I
What do you
mean,
think about that?
two different things. I mean, the Jake Paul thing can easily been real.
I'm putting on
It could have been fake,
blue on.
but I really don't know. It looked like Tyson was pulling his punches. That means he didn't really. There might have been a contract that he couldn't knock out Jake Paul, and that's what it is. What it is. He's trying to make his money and feed his kids. I think that's what happened there. I don't know,
One,
but yeah,
Junior Ruts. I'm just saying, come on, we know a little bit more about that industry. I know you know a lot more.
yeah.
What about you being like and a sports agency producer.
Well, I mean, I worked in a sports agency. Worked a lot. I mean, I've been
I
blessed. I've
mean,
been
and
with
you work for a lot for
UFC,
these people.
MMA, all these people. Yeah.
So talk
And,
to me about how it works then, because I've seen so many people
well,
being knocked out.
it's a lot of work. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that's what I'm saying. When you see someone like MMA is it's one of the hardest things I've ever seen in my whole life. I've seen guys do weight cuts. Um, I've seen a lot of hard work these guys do, like day
What
in
do you
and day
mean?
out. Like they got to
Like
go
they
and
have to train, right?
yeah, train like crazy though. The training is not
But
like
what do you mean? How do you know
what
that?
I've seen it. You know, I mean, I've seen them
With
training.
with you being there, right?
I mean, being there, yeah, I filmed them many times. Some of the best, Jorge Masvidal, John
That's right.
Jones,
He has.
a lot of cool, amazing, legendary fighters, and I got to see them like
Amazing.
do their thing, and it's man, just the work that they put in every day, and they do like 2 different sessions a day, and then they do sparring and and then you gotta like watch your weight and then you gotta sleep early because it's all about sleep to them. Like that's how your body restores itself, right? So they're really big on sleep and rest, like big, big, big on that. Like they have to sleep at 7 p.m. You know what I mean? I think people these guys aren't partying, like they literally go to sleep early and they get up early. And they have to do weight cut, which is really hard to do.
Oh,
Uh,
I've seen it like on
you
your
know,
footage, and him editing it gives me a headache. Like I've
yeah,
had to be there for some scenes and like watch him edit stuff, and he knows it probably even better than what they're even doing because he filmed it, you know.
yeah, it's intense. It's something I would never do. Like losing all that weight so fast, and then it's a lot. But I think that's what I'm trying to say. I have a lot of respect for that world now. I didn't respect. Not that I didn't respect it. I didn't know that world enough to
He
even think
didn't.
about it until I got into the sports agency world, and then I learned about it. Met these guys. See how hardworking they are. See how nice, down to earth these guys are.
100.
And yeah, a lot of respect for them. And it's a crazy thing. Boxing is a little different. Boxing, has been known for so long and been so dirty and jacked up. So you don't know with boxing, especially with like a Jake Paul who comes from YouTube, who comes from a place where he's trying to make money. First of all, he just retired from boxing the other day. So literally, his Tyson fight is his last fight as a boxer. Like he's almost like he's like done with it. Like I'm done with this now. So I'm moving on. Um, you know, uh, it's one of those weird things, right? Where he's like, I'm done with this now. So it reminds me a lot of like,
Mhm. What does it remind you of? Like, are you still there? Am I live
you hear me?
with you?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
reminds
you're
me of
good.
it reminds me of the Blues Brothers. I used to love the Blues
Why?
because the Blues Brothers. I loved them as a kid. And I still love it. I still love that movie. It's a great film, but because James Belushi was the guy who made that movie. He passed away. Obviously, he had a cocaine overdose and all this stuff. But he before he died, they were asking him to make like a Blues Brothers Part Two, and he's like, no, I moved on. He's like, I'm doing
Oh
punk rock.
yeah.
I'm doing punk rock now. Like he
No
wanted to,
point.
he was about to make a punk rock version of the Blues Brothers, which I would have loved to see what the heck that would have been like. But he died before he can get there. But that's where
Where you at? Oh damn. I think he just cut himself out. He'll be right back. I think he will be. I got 33 in the house. I don't know what's going on in chat, you guys. I am trying to stay focused. Let me see. I see him right now. There we go. Juan?
yeah, I don't know what happened
Rex?
there.
What's that?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. So that's what reminds me of the Blues Brothers, just because like he was about to move on and do a punk rock version of the Blues Brothers, which would have been the coolest movie ever, maybe. But that's what I think about Jake Paul. Like he's just somebody that's like he used boxing for entertainment to make money for himself. So I don't take that fight seriously. It's not a real fight. Like this is not a real fighter. Like I know real fighters. Those people are like, you don't play with those people. Like I
Right?
work at all. I mean, literally, I have friends tell me when I go to these locations to meet. Like you never know. You never know what mood a fighter is in, especially when they're doing weight cuts and stuff. Like you'd be like, yo, Juan, like
Oh,
just stay away. Like just be careful. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like you might get whacked on over the head one time just because they're fighters. That's what they do. Not they're being jerks or anything. They're just imagine you haven't eaten anything and you're full like
yeah.
adrenaline. You know what I mean? Like that's a bad combo. I know I want to fight somebody and I'm hungry. Um, but yeah, I think the John Belushi thing is kind of an analogy for me to understand Jake Paul. Like, entertainer, different kind of people, and I think that's who he is, an entertainer. And again, I would have loved to have seen a
I understand
Belushi,
that too.
Blues
So
Brothers
can I
Part
ask you a
Two.
question too? Because I have these weirdos, right?
Mm,
And they don't know reality from fiction. And they make videos but they make videos too, and they're crazy as fuck. What kind of advice do you give to these individuals that want to make up these troll like accounts? Like just like on your birthday, remember when I got
yeah.
that call and
Hmm.
how upset you were?
Yeah.
Like what kind of advice would you give to those people that think they know so much and everything and call
Well,
themselves some kind
look,
of like
I don't waste my time with people like like
I know,
me.
right?
You know me.
You don't.
You know me. Like one thing about me
Totally
that
funny.
I've been put in so many different like places, dragged. You know me. I've been traveled all over the place. I've been with a lot of people, powerful people, all that stuff, all that. I met a lot of cool people, whatever, all that jazz. But,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And you just don't, you don't have time to care. You don't have time to
You
care.
don't really
Like,
care
you
about
know what I
those
mean? If you're in
people.
this, how I see it
So what do you
is
think
like,
about let me ask you one more
mm,
question. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Because I feel like there's people that think that they're powerful and they give these kind of people a platform. What advice would you give those people that think that they're powerful and they give those kind of people a platform?
Well, I'm trying to say that I have no advice for them because they're in their own lane. You know what I mean? Like, do you? I don't care. I mean, that's one thing about the internet
No,
too
you
that's super
don't.
important. To me, what's cool about the internet is that you could care about what you're doing and forget about everybody else. You know what I mean? And if you do that, you'll be successful because there's guys right now like making hit
Fucking
YouTube
idiot.
channels with like old VHS tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get real. Like, you don't need anybody. You can make a whole. I'm a nerd. Okay,
True.
so I've sat here and watched like, oh, look at this old laser disc. Like, like I'm gonna sit here and watch this guy tell me about laser disc for 30 minutes, and I'll be like, oh, you know what? Why did that go out of business? Oh, let me find out why that went out of business. Oh, compact computers went out of business. Crap, that's new.
Right.
That happened like 15 years ago, but it's new to me. So, like, do I really
Oh,
have time
shit.
to worry about, what other
You
people
know
think
what
like
people are
in
worried about
YouTube?
right now? There's some people worried about zebra technology. Just saying.
Yeah,
That shit's been around since like 1970.
yeah. Like I said, you don't break your head. Like, let
Unbelievable.
people do what the heck they're gonna do. You go do what you gotta do. There's a big look. YouTube's like one big buffet. All right, there's enough food here for everybody, bro. Like,
There.
this is golden corral. All right, this isn't fine dining. All right, this is like they got steak over there. They got mash over here.
For
They
real.
got the salad bar over there. Figure it out. Right? It's
Fucking
not
figure it
really
out.
figure it out. I don't have time to be
Look at my
no.
I'm putting on snap-ons right now for Christmas. So
Oh,
saying
nice.
I'm rich, bitches, and I have my papers and I know where I live. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you can't be wasting like I don't do it. I say be more, right? Be entertainer. Be the entertainer. Be the person that entertains people or infotainment, whatever you want to call it. Be that person. Doesn't really matter. People are gonna hate no matter what you
You
do.
give a fuck.
People hate on you when you go to the supermarket, when you walk in the door, like, oh,
I'm
look at
going
that.
through the
You know what I
supermarket.
mean? Like, look at her, she's buying butter. You know what
I'm buying
I
butter.
mean? It doesn't matter. So what's the point? I learned that a long time ago. That freed me
They're
from a
fucking
lot.
assholes.
Because I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have time for it. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And can imagine. I've seen this on a different platform too. I've seen it with people. What I'm saying? Like, even when I posted videos and stuff like that, I've seen people hate on me. So it's like, I laugh. I've had people joke on me, and so I'm like, do whatever, dude. Knock yourself out. It's a free country, right? So it's all good. Yeah, just don't waste your time. Do what you gotta do. Do your your what you're good at. Did she leave?
Yeah. So can we
uh,
talk about Miss
hmm?
Jaguar, right?
Yeah, like I said, look. This day was always coming with Jaguar, right? Because she would talk about Jay-Z for so long, so we were always wondering
Yeah.
if this day would come. Now it's here. Now the day has come where Jay-Z has been officially put on a on a situation now, right? That allegedly he did this to a 13-year-old girl, and now it's on paper. Now it's on Fox News. Now it's real, right? Before it was all over the internet. oh, this is coming, so that's, I think the interesting thing about this story is the fact that we've heard about it for so long. It's coming. Oh my God, it's almost here, and now it finally is here. So to me,
Can
it's
we
one of
talk
those.
about how this works though? Like really quick. I want people to understand how the law works
Mm,
because Jay-Z in his statement, he said that why do you not file a criminal suit? Okay. That's the first thing anybody in their minds wants to do, right? Is file a criminal suit. The reason why they're not going to file a criminal suit and they're going to go civil, why do they go civil? Is because that's the best way to go. You file a police report, you do a restraining order, you show proof. And then there's other measures you can take in between. But the only reason why I know that is because of James Munder's death. And if anybody knows that, it would be Juan Ruiz. What?
I,
Like,
I'm trying to understand why that approach. I'm trying to understand why criminal. I'm not trying to why civil, not criminal.
I know, like, okay.
It's not
Okay.
statute. It's not statute of limitations.
This
So
lawyer was like, okay, so he wants to take the civil approach, right?
mm-hmm.
Because if they take the criminal approach, then that's like the state. That's like the litigations of the attorneys. That's like being filed by a higher power. The civil is between myself and another human being, like a normal person.
No, definitely. I think that's the reason why it's obviously it's quicker, right? Obviously,
No, it's not quicker. It's
no, in
the
a sense, it is
way, it's a
because
process. It's
that's
the
what I'm trying to
process.
say. Because if it was criminal, that'd be like evidence, and obviously it's a 20-year-old case, so that get evidence would be very difficult,
They
right? So
have the evidence. They have to have the evidence. And that's unfortunate because if anybody does not want to believe that Jay-Z did anything with a minor, it would be me. I don't want to believe it. I just
yeah,
don't. I don't want to believe it.
believe what? That he's a
I,
bum.
I mean, I believe Pete Diddy. I believe all these other crazy people, but
Jay-Z's a monster,
it's
dude. What are you talking
hard.
about?
But he's a monster. He's a
This is
monster.
old news. This guy literally has been a devil worshiper for a long time.
He's
You
a
know,
devil. Yeah,
him
you
and his
remind. So let's
him and his
put God in
witch
a place.
him
Let's
and
do that.
his witch wife. You know what I mean? Like you got a witch wife who obviously
It's
like.
not her fault though.
What do you mean
He
not her?
made
It
her
is her
that
fault.
way. She
No,
was
that's
born
no,
into
no,
the
no.
church.
Stop. So like,
She was
she
born
turns.
into the church.
Everyone's got a choice. She turned to a witch. Okay, she's been a witch for a long time. Okay, this is her. This is her. This is by her own admission too. I'm not even saying this stuff like I made up. I'm not the one talking about menstrual blood and Bible, whatever the heck she was talking about. Okay, that's her conversation. All right, so God
Okay.
help us. All right, like
I'm
that's what
gonna
we're
let you
talking about.
take over the floor, and I will be right back. But no, I'm listening.
Yeah, yeah. I just think it's really weird the whole thing, obviously because you know, you know.
Sorry.
Hello. Okay.
You're
Um.
good.
Yeah. I'm reading that. That's a good point too. I'm watching Special K here. Civil is private. Criminal is public. Yeah. So that makes sense. Why they went that way? Because again, even OJ was found guilty in the civil suit, right? Even though he was not guilty in the criminal. So you know that makes sense. I think here again, this lawyer is not a joke. So I'm interested. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out because this guy is not. He's been on this road before with other cases. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what he does, how he handles this because this is crazy. Because you got the Beyonce situation in there as well. Are they gonna do damage control? Are they gonna try to distance themselves from Jay-Z? You know, that's gonna be the interesting thing here. Like, how is this gonna play out over the next 2 months? It's gonna be big because is Jay-Z gonna be left for dead? There's all those kind of angles that could be happening there. It could be that they leave Jay-Z for dead and say, oh, you know what, we're gonna let you to hang and dry because now Beyonce's career is at stake. This could mess up two careers that are worth a lot of money to brands, not just themselves. So I think they're going to try to save her career, obviously, and let him to burn. But we'll see. Again, he talked. He talked a big talk when he did that rebuttal from responding to the lawyer. But I don't know if that was a good response. I think that was a bad response. I think that response was like, just weird, just cringy. Like, whoa, that's a lot of conversation, for something that just happened. I don't want to believe Denzel Washington was gay either. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. Kay, is the fact that he did the criminal. He actually had the criminal case, a famous case. He won that, but then he lost the civil. But yeah, on the Denzel tip, really quick. Um, yeah, I saw that video clip about him kissing dudes in Gladiator. I don't understand that one bit. I'm still confused by that one. I like Denzel, but that was a weird one. I'm very confused by that. I'm still trying to like figure it out. Like, I don't know, man. You said you were a Christian, and then you're out here kissing dudes and talking about people ain't ready for that. I ain't ready for that. I don't want no part of that. So I don't know. It's just very weird. I don't know why. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see on that one. He's about to retire, but that was just a very weird clip from him talking about kissing dudes. I don't know. Yeah, but at the end of the day, this is gonna be heavy duty stuff. We're gonna watch it play out before May 25th. We're gonna see a lot of fireworks, and that's gonna be the interesting thing. Is Jay-Z gonna crash and burn? Are they gonna let him to rot? Are they gonna like actually try to save him? His PR team, they're doing a bad job right now. Whoever allowed that letter to be posted is really bad PR. So that tells you like you don't know how this is gonna play out. This can go. Yeah, we don't know if it's gonna be if it's gonna play. It's gonna play well. This response is so early from him that I don't even know how the heck. It's almost like that dumb video that Puff Daddy did with the Cassie situation. It's just almost not as bad, but it's bad. It's just like a really bad look. Like let your lawyer say something. Say something very basic, like okay, we got our lawyers on it, but you're like you said all this stuff about the lawyer. It's just weird, very weird.
I'm sorry about that.
All right, and
I
we're
just
back.
have to say, I love you, Kay. She knows. She knows. God damn, she knows. So Kay is a moderator on the other channel that I was telling you about. That we actually, congratulations, Special K. This is huge because this never happened. Okay. And I got to give a big ups to Ruts. But the appeal for Randy, it went through. And it wasn't just any appeal. It was a moderate. It was a like a partnership program. So it went through. So and you are very much involved. I'm just letting you know that. And I'm like shocked because of all the research I've done. I cannot believe that we are still in the program and what is going to happen in the future. It's something that we got to pay attention to because it's going to be amazing. It can be amazing. This will be amazing. Like, it's country. Like, this is like a sector of like a country boy sector one that
Yeah.
you might not know, like, or understand or care about.
Well, I mean, I'm learning always. You know, it's like I said, the YouTube is such a vast universe. You know, that Netflix actually said that the only competition they have is YouTube. So for Netflix to say that, it tells you everything. You know, because they don't even look at they don't even look at YouTube as a competition. They just think that like YouTube's the only thing that comes close to them. Like they're peers more, right? They're not even like over in competition, but they understand that people spend a lot of time on YouTube like that. Like, you know, I'll watch YouTube way more than I watch Netflix for sure by a long mile. You know, like I'll watch a podcast, I'll watch you know, my Gene Deal stuff or Jaguar, right? Whatever. I watch a little bit of everything. Watch the Fox News on there too. You know, try to get all spectrums, right? So I think at the end of the day, you know, just a big difference, you know. And yeah, I mean, I think we're moving into a new space because of what happened with this election, because of what happened with Alex Jones, because of what happened with Elon Musk buying Twitter, X. X is big right now. I actually enjoy X a lot.
Oh,
There's X, there's so much going on. X is not even funny, and it's fun to see
you
all
don't
the,
even
you
need to
know,
go to like your news. You just, if you hear something, just hop on Twitter and or X, and then you just type in whatever the title is that you're wondering about, and you're going to get the immediate news of what's going on. Screenshot it because what they're going to say on like the corporate news, it's going to be completely different than what you're actually seeing in real life. So that's what I'm saying. It's like super like
well,
it's right there in your face.
well, yeah, I mean, and that's why they're so mad with Elon Musk. They're attacking him already. That's why they're attacking Joe Rogan. Same thing because
Yeah,
they believe that Joe Rogan cost them the
they're
election.
paying people to
You
attack
know,
him.
they really believe that it was Joe Rogan's fault they lost, or one of the reasons they believe it was, you know, it's because of that reason. But mind you, they spend $1.5 billion trying to help this crazy woman, this crazy witch. You
More
know, like
than they did Donald Trump's campaign.
no, 1.5 billion is crazy. You know what I mean? The fact that all these people got paid, Beyonce got
So
paid,
annoying.
Lizzo got paid, Megan Thee Stallion got, everybody and their mama got paid. And then, you know, then they went out there and lied to people, talking about we're gonna win. You guys, no one believed you're gonna win. I didn't believe it. I mean, that was, you know, if you watch the news, people came to me like freaked out, like, oh my god, we're gonna lose because they were listening to CNN or whatever. And I was like, dude, no. Like, if you go to Twitter, if you go to the real day, everyday folks, you're gonna see people talking about Trump. I never had one person come up to me and be like, oh man, I love Kamala Harris. She's so amazing. Like, no one likes her. No one liked her
Nobody.
as a person. You know what I mean? Like,
Nobody.
you know, like I kept making the joke. I got mad because I said the joke first, and then I was like, damn it, you know, you can't tell jokes first
You were
nowadays.
that first person. I can
But
see you now.
you know,
One was that guy that was over there at the studio and he was like preaching to everyone, telling everyone what the hell's going on, and zero people. I could so see you doing that.
well, my
That
thing
was
was no,
him.
I wanted to, no. My joke was the fact that she kept saying that line, and then I said it first, and then like 2 weeks later, I heard everybody say the joke, and I was like, dang, I knew I had a good joke, which was, you know, I grew up as a middle class kid. You know, my mom, she worked every day. It's like my joke was that if you ever get like if you ever apply for a job, you should just do what she does. That, you know, like people should accept it, right? Because they're so liberal. Like, so why are you good for this job? You know, well, I grew up as a middle class kid. My mom worked every day. The front door opened, it closed, the window goes up, and it goes back down. I drive around the street, and I come back home. You know, that's how retarded this whole thing was for months. You know, I grew up as a middle class kid, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? Like, you know, like once I got, and then they're asking like, what about the economy? He's like, well, I grew up as a middle class kid, and you're like, man, this is bad. But that's why I knew she was gonna lose. Like I said that back then, like this is not good. She has no pizzazz. She has no. She couldn't even hang out normally like people. You know what I mean? They had that one clip of her, remember, where she was like in the store trying to buy some Doritos, and that went bad. Like she can't
Yeah,
even, you
the
know,
ghetto Doritos.
you know, like, oh yeah, let me get some of my Doritos. Here they are, honey. And you're like, even this is awkward, you know. So Trump's over there hanging out at McDonald's, and everyone loves him, you know. So It was just a matter of time.
All right, now I have some other questions I have to ask you. Okay, so with what do you think about Jaguar Wright? Do you think she's telling the truth?
Again,
I want to know your opinion
for a long
because
time,
I
I didn't know. I didn't
yeah.
know for a long time. I was really up in the air with Jaguar, right? Because she had so many theories.
Hmm.
But one thing about her that I knew was true is the way she spoke about the industry was real. Like she talked about things like from a perspective of like being at a live show, being in a recording session. If you're in those
Yep.
rooms, you know how those rooms are and how those
Yep.
things conversations go. So I knew that she was coming from a real place, right? So I knew that.
You could feel
I
it.
I, I just didn't know how far. But the thing about her that she would sometimes be part of the problem in the story. Like I slept with him, and I was like, bro, you're not making anybody.
Yes, Jaguar.
You're not helping nobody out with this, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now how do I believe you now? You know what I mean?
Thank you for putting that into words for me. I knew you were the perfect person.
Like, damn,
Yeah.
you slept with the dude now. Like, I'm supposed to take you as a credible witness. You know, like it's not working out. You know, so there was that issue with me and her. And again, I that happened
Well,
to her.
what
Like,
about her whole thing with the roots too, though, and her
yeah, same.
beautiful voice?
I mean, yeah, she has an amazing
She has
voice.
super talent, you know, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if she slept with somebody. Honestly, she's a woman.
I'm not saying that like in that sense. I'm saying it because of the fact that you're attacking somebody, right? Now you're talking about that you had relations. It makes you like the bitter ex-wife, right? So you don't want that stigma on your what you're saying, right? You just don't want that, So she'll like, and then mind you, you're watching it for the first time like me, and you're like, oh, man, that's crazy. That guy did it, and then she'll tell you that at the end, and you're like, oh, I don't know anymore. So
She's really good at telling stories, and she knows how to trigger people, and
but
she
then she'll
knows
also
how
like
to
she'll
use her crazy. She knows how to use her crazy, but she's extremely intelligent. So the way she moves and the way she talks and the way she acts, you guys, this is YouTube. She is getting like she's getting a feedback from that. She has calmed down so much. She looks like the same woman I met when she was saying, "Hey, you guys, I can't stand fucking Jay-Z, and I don't, like P Diddy, and like Jay-Z this, Jay-Z that, Jay-Z's a pig," and like that's the woman I met, Jaguar.
like I said, again, I've always,
No,
I've
we
always, I've always,
like Paul's people were trolling black people. And that's how we met Jaguar Wright on his panel. And I remember them trolling black people because I've been
I,
around black people for like 20 years in Miami now.
again, I
So,
didn't think, I always liked Jaguar, and again, I watched a lot of her
yeah,
work. For
she's
it's just one of those. It was always one of those things where like, whoa, that's
they don't get her.
it was so like she'll go to the nether side of it. She'll go to the nether realm with it. She wouldn't stay in the one realm. She'll be like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to the other realm, and you're like, whoa, what happened now? And like
Yeah, it's
and they
trauma
have the
band.
babies. They're taking all the kids, and you're like her story ended up being like Indiana Jones,
But
like,
it's like she's been there though. And I feel like
no,
that's
hundred
where the
percent.
trauma
She
comes
she
from.
yeah, 100%. And that's another thing you got to take consideration, right? So that's why
100%.
that's why I believe like, look, I'm not surprised that we're here. I'm not surprised that what she said was true.
Me
I
neither.
don't think she was lying. I just didn't know for sure. I mean, obviously no
It
one
was
does. But
mm,
now that we're seeing this come to light, I mean, first of all, she was already right about Diddy. She was right about Diddy. That's
this is
100%.
right.
Right?
So
She
she
was
is.
she was completely right about that crazy person. And now with Jay Z, again, people were saying no way with Jay Z. Oh no, not him. No, there's no way. And
I
she's
was
been saying
waiting.
it, and
I was waiting.
she's been saying it forever, and she even said that he's worse.
Oh, here we go.
You
We gotta
know?
go into an interlude, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, now this the real one. And fuck y'all fake ones. Let's just wait.
Yeah, so we're gonna know a lot in the next 2 months because the interesting thing about this Jay-Z story, to be honest, to me, is this. This is a story. This is we got to figure out, and we should hedge our bets. We should all take bets here and figure this out. Which is, are they gonna let Jay-Z out to dry? Because they're gonna only thing people care about right now is saving Beyonce's career. Like I can only imagine that PR team right now. They're like, yo, we gotta work through the night because they're about to lose her career. And now, you know what I'm saying? By association. So they're gonna like these next 2 months are gonna be critical. You're gonna be watching the news and be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Because look, even the mom got caught, Beyonce's mom got caught liking a comment. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that. And then she said this morning, I think she said this morning, oh, I got hacked. Right? So
From her
I'm
Twitter
telling you,
account or whatever.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this is gonna be the interesting part of the story is
There's no way.
how long are they gonna ride with him? How long are they gonna ride with him before they give him the boot? You know, because if it goes to like January, February, and then get more information comes out,
it will.
You know, then it's gonna tarnish her career. So I think this is my theory. Okay, this is what I think is gonna happen. So what I think is gonna happen is that she's gonna definitely let Jay-Z go. She's gonna start her the divorcee Beyonce campaign, right? Where she's like, I
I've been
survived
wanting him
Jay-Z.
for so long since Lemonade.
I
Right?
survived him, and she's gonna have a book. You
No,
know,
she did not survive him.
you
She
know,
did
they're
not
gonna.
survive
I'm telling
him.
you right now, they're ready. They have all like the
There's a
buttons.
designer baby, by the way,
They're
and
all
I want to talk about that.
they have all the buttons ready. Okay, they have all the buttons ready for Jay-Z to put him under the ocean. They're gonna come out with the book. I survived Jay-Z. She's gonna come up with a whole new album. Remember, she made the country album. That new album's gonna be all R&B, all all R&B with singing and crying and all that.
Wow, let's go there.
You know, that country
It's
thing was
true though.
just for a little bit.
Wrong.
So that's what I
But
think's
she
gonna
did
happen.
try to go country. She did. She
Yeah,
tried.
yeah, she did it for that. This is good timing. She knew that. I'm telling you, this was coming. Okay, this is what's coming. They're gonna let Jay-Z drown, and they're gonna come up with this whole PR campaign. All 2025 is gonna be a PR campaign around her surviving this debacle. I never knew anything. Woe with me. I'm Beyonce. Oh my God. I loved him. Bring him on the stand, bring him on the stand with the black dress, and oh my God, how could you, honey? And then, she's on
Not gonna work out.
She's on Time Magazine, Survivor. It's coming. I'm telling you right now, that's what I think's gonna happen. They're gonna let him to dry so that way they can save her career because she's too big to fail. You know what I mean? So they can let
Know
his
about
career.
that because he is too big to fail.
No way.
Yeah. He's bigger than Beyonce.
No, she's not. No, he's not. No, he's not by any measure.
Why?
Not by no. Ain't no grandmas bumping Jay-Z. Like
Are
there's
you kidding
grandmas
me?
playing. Yeah, they are, but not like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? First of all, he hasn't had a relevant like a record that's relevant in a long like she has that country album. Even though I
But
don't
he's
like any of
opened
it.
up businesses.
You
Forget
know.
about the album. Okay, and that's another thing that we got to talk about because I know that you, as a sports agent, producer and all this other stuff, and I know you from the television station where we met. And also, it was so cute is today I had that thing on Facebook where it shows like where you were.
Yeah.
And it showed where we met. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't even understand the story. I was like, what? I'm so intrigued. You're so creative and I want to know more. That's how we met.
That's true.
But where was I going with that? No, God, no, but it was with the whole thing with the director and the whole thing with the writing, like where was it? It was with the productions.
I mean, like in the sense of. For fighting or for sports?
No, of how much the money gets so deep. So these attorneys are just like dying. They're like hurting right now for money. And they are like, the way I feel is like the Jay-Z has attorneys after them that are obviously, and they have been known to be milk hungry, hungry.
Well, look. At the end of the day, yeah, but look, the guy who's the attorney for these people is no joke. He's already done this. It's not his first rodeo, and so he's coming with it. This guy's not a joke. He's like a Marine.
I'm gonna have to look into him more.
Yeah, he's serious business. He's done this before. It's
I
not
don't
his
trust
first
any
time.
of these people.
But no, look. I look at it like this. This is Diddy we're talking about. This is Jay-Z we're talking about. Okay, these are people who have Diddy's definitely proven himself to be a complete weirdo, crazy person. The Casey, whatever video proved that. Like before, if you had like a doubt about Diddy, you're like, okay, cool. Then you see that video of him beating this poor girl in a hotel hallway. You're like, okay, well, he's a total nutcase. And then Jay-Z, he's been a monster. Okay, like, this guy's been like his music again is demonic as it is. He's a crack dealer turned I'm such a good person. No, this is not a good person. This is somebody that ran with Hillary Clinton and was okay with abortions like nobody's business. Okay, he's a Planned Parenthood bum, just like his witch wife. So it's very simple to me. Like I don't have no. It's not that I don't have empathy for people, but I know when I see a scumbag. Okay, when you stand next to Hillary Clinton and you go to Planned Parenthood and you want to kill babies, it's very easy for me. Like, yeah, you suck, dude. You suck, Jay-Z. Your wife sucks. You're all a bunch of monsters, mongrels,
Yeah,
goblins. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you guys want to, like, you guys want to kill babies, I'm not with it. I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to let you lie to me like, oh,
I hate baby killers. How
you know
about
what I mean?
that?
Because I'm black. I'm supposed to vote Democratic or
Especially when you're
whatever.
3 months pregnant and you're like not knowing what you're doing. You're not like a rape victim or anything like that.
Yeah, these are sick people. You know what I mean? And this
I
is
mean,
what
I
Jay.
understand women's rights, though. I gotta say,
No, women's look. That's a,
I
okay.
do not
That's a
discriminate.
bull crap statement. Okay,
I'm
women's right.
sorry,
No, let me finish. Right, let me back up what I'm saying.
well, we
Women's
differ.
rights. No, this is not a different thing. I'm just saying. Like, I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is this: women's rights. It's not just no one's taking women's rights away. Nobody. Like,
Oh no, I know that
you know what
shit.
I'm saying? They make it seem like women's rights. Like we're out here. Like, hey, who are you going out with tonight? you know, like, so you're going out with this dude? Oh, so you're gonna go? You guys have condoms? What's going? Like, what are you crazy witches talking about women's rights? Give me a freaking break. No, we're talking about freaking sluts that can't buy like get like knocked up and then want to kill babies. That's what we're talking about. Not talking about these like like they always bring the same bull crap. Like there's always this. Oh, what about the rape victim? Like that's like one out of like
As
the
long as you're okay with the rape.
millions. You know what I mean? And you're talking about like don't do that. That's why I hate this whole
But
concept.
what do you feel about like somebody that's literally having sex with their brother and sister for 10 years? They're having incest and they
Yeah.
grow up and then the woman ends up pregnant. What do you feel about that? Do you think that that baby should be alive?
I'm not God, number one.
Number one.
So, right, a lot of bad things have come, a lot of good things have come from bad things. I'm not God. So God allowed
I respect that.
the baby of Bathsheba to live, right? That's a baby that came from the adultery of King David,
Yeah,
having, taking her, which is kind of like rape because he's a powerful king. So like, come over here, I'm having sex with you. It wasn't really like she had a choice, right, per se.
true.
Maybe she did. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, it didn't. It didn't look good, and it was adultery. But that baby lived. You know what I mean? So does that mean that we have no empathy and heartbreak for the poor victim? Of course we do. You know what I mean? But there's also a child that has nothing to do with this situation. So again, I'm not for abortion at all, but at the same time, I do understand scenario situations. I try to be very.
Do you
I try to be.
understand
I try to be.
abortion
I try to
in
be very
certain
cautious.
scenarios?
I try to understand them and cautious about. What I mean by that is like saying like, there's time to pray. There's time to pray for answers, right? And those are
I'm
those.
not sticking up for abortion. I
I'm
don't
not at all. I'm not at
believe
all.
in abortion.
I'm not
You
at
know
all. What I'm
that.
trying to say is that I try to be very careful because we got something you got to talk to people about. You just can't be like, you know what I'm saying? People try to beat people up with this stuff, and then you come out sounding like a crazy Christian instead of being
It's
like
fucked up.
somebody that has a heart. Like, yeah, look, that sucks. Let's talk about
Right.
it. And I wouldn't want to do that. But at the same time, I don't understand your pain. I don't understand where your incest rape. I don't understand any of that
The
stuff. That's
fact that
not.
you
Yeah,
say one, or like
yeah,
you
yeah.
are like admitting to the point that you do not understand.
Yeah.
right? What they're going through.
Yeah.
Big ups to you. That's like the first step because some of these people are so trolled, closed-minded. They don't understand that part
I think it's
for a
important because again,
woman.
I wouldn't say I'm against abortion completely, but I would say be careful what you say because these are hurt people who've been through stuff, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
either to stand like it's hard to fight with people like that because you're like, man, that person wants to kill a person, right? But they're so close minded and so brainwashed that they feel like there's no other way. So by yelling
fact.
at them, now mind you, there's a time for everything, right? And also God gives people gifts. Like I saw some on YouTube, a lady defends who's pro-life and defends it against people who are pro-abortion, and she does a great job, but it's not an easy job to do because
Good.
people are still gonna yell at you, people are still gonna call you names and all this stuff, and you have to be professional, right? You can't be like F you. You gotta like literally keep your composure. Like
We
I
try,
don't care, you
motherfucker.
gonna have that baby now. Like what are you like, what, man, calm down, right? So you can't do
Oh
that.
my
That's why I say
God, so
with God,
retarded.
with God and things of that nature, like when it comes to
Nobody,
like pro life, you have to have principles. You have to have discipline because if you talk like them, it's my uterus, and all this stuff, you're gonna sound crazy. So you have to sound civil. You gotta sound loving, and be like, look, I don't agree with you, but this is why, and hopefully the Holy Ghost Spirit can touch their heart to say, you know what, I want to keep this baby. That's about it. We can't beat them to death about their failure because to them in their head they failed, right? Or they have a failure, or there's some
already.
kind of trauma, right? And you're there beating them up on it. Like it doesn't work. It's the same thing. Like I don't think it's great to be out there.
I failed because I'm putting on fake nails right now. But they're Christmas. They're so cute. Look at my nails already.
They look good.
Like, they look cute, right?
They look good. Yeah, I think it works. Yeah, I think that the whole
I didn't
woman
say
thing
I
that's
won.
sorry that was a trigger for me because I heard that one too many times. Like, oh, my body, my right. Like, look, no one's saying anything about your body. Do whatever you want. You want to go out and walk around with your body at night at Melrose Place or South Beach. That's why I get
Good
mad.
luck.
Like women's rights. Like you
I
can do
got
whatever
my
you want.
papers. I'm rich.
You know, I don't understand
That's what
that.
they're looking. They're like, I was born at Kaiser.
I'm very
Hell no.
confused. I'm very confused. Like
Me
really,
too.
no one's telling you what not to do. Like I'm not gonna tell you to do with your body. You can do what the heck you want. Go right ahead. But if you want to kill an innocent body, then that's a different story. That's what we're arguing. We're arguing because you want to kill an innocent body, not your body. Whatever you want to do, you want to be a train wreck. I don't like it for you, but that's what you want to do. Go on and do it. Like it sucks that you want to be like a crazy person, but all right, we're trying to tell you not to kill the baby that you have because they'll call it a lump of cells and a bunch of other stuff, anything but life. And so that's the kind of people. But again, it is brainwashing at a high level. This is what it is. It's brainwashing at a very high level, done for a very long time, where they can have these. And I saw the video on YouTube of this woman defending, the defending pro-lifers, and man, the people on the abortion section have the worst audience. It's like the girl with like the purple hair with like a chonga look. It was just
I don't
like
even
you.
want to tell you what happened this week with
It's so
my
bad.
family. Like, I'm like, she's super liberal. She's fucking liberal. She's like, the first Google search that I seen said that boron was this, that, and this and that. And I'm like, like, wait. Boron, like my grandpa knows about boron. Like, no. We're not trying to kill mama. Like, we're not doing that. And she's still going off on that because of her simple Google search. So I'm having issues with that right now. But anyway, I shouldn't bring it
Well,
up.
yeah, I mean, I think with that kind of stuff, it's hard because especially with liberals, they think they know everything. So when they Google something, I think that's the end of everything.
It's it.
And it's a hard. I think that's what they come from, that world of MSN, legacy media, that kind of thing, where it's just like it is what it
Not
is.
having it.
I've had arguments like that with a lawyer on a plane not too long ago, and I was like, but it said this. Oh,
Nope. You
where you get?
with an attorney. Okay, I have to hear more.
They're
Please
like,
tell me.
oh, where you hear that at? I think it's about Trump. Quayon or Quayon. Like he threw accusations at me because I said something that was pro Trump that he didn't agree with. I'm like, look, this stuff is real. You know what I mean? Like hello, we saw an assassination attempt on Trump that was ridiculous. That made no
You always
sense on
piss people
paper.
off. I love it.
Like that made no sense for this man to be almost shot the way he did. This guy's hanging around the roof, people taking videos and pictures. The whole thing was just set up. It smells fishy as can be. And again, if you do the research, if you know about JFK and everything else, they've done this. It's pretty black and white. It's not really a hard. The only thing that happened here is that the lady retired. The lady resigned. Right. That was the funniest week too, because they went in here and they drilled her about what happened, and she had like no answers. And you're like, okay, I quit. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, she just quit. Like, all right, I did a bad job. Bye, everybody. She used to be the Pepsi CEO. Like, what are you doing there? What are you doing
Are you serious?
Yeah, she used to be the Pepsi, like, worked at Pepsi, then went to the Secret Service. Correct me if I'm
Pepsi.
wrong, but, we
What's
can't.
Pepsi known for? Didn't they like harbor babies about 10 years ago?
What happened?
Anyway, when did this happen?
Her working at Pepsi?
Recently?
Yeah, this
With
recently
the
this is all during after the assassination. They had a hearing for the head of the director of the Secret Service, where they all these governors and everybody drilled her like, why? How didn't you know? Why didn't you have the information? How many people? How many time? How much time was there when you found the shooter and the time you shot him and all this kind of stuff? They just kind of kept drilling her, and she had no answers. Like, I don't know yet. We gotta check the book. We gotta check the
I
files.
didn't know that.
They destroyed her. You know what I mean? They until she finally
I love it.
they bludgeoned her to death until she finally resigned. So it was, yeah, that it was interesting. It was very interesting.
Mhm.
And we learned a lot there. Like, oh wow, these people are really that crazy that they'll try to kill this man. Definitely the deep state. We're gonna see how much is real now, this whole situation,
Yeah.
because we got Dodge, the department with Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, and
So
so a
what do you
lot.
think about Elon Musk? Let's get your feel on what you know of Elon, and like how, like, let me just get a feel for that for the new year and what's going
I think Elon's legit, and the only reason I say that is because he's coming from a place of pain. He's coming because his son got turned into a
so great.
transgender,
That's weird.
and what he's coming through is coming as a parent, right? He was a liberal. We all know he was a liberal.
Yeah.
His
Same with Donald Trump.
ex-girlfriend was a crazy witch too, or ex-wife, whatever she was. That girl looked like crazy. So I think he's coming from a place of pain because he lost his son. His son went transsexual and all this stuff, and he thought it was the right thing to do. He pushed it along. He helped with it.
You think it was because of that reason?
I think so. Yeah, he said it was. That's from his own words. He said it was. He said that's the reason
I
he got in
need,
that
I
fight.
need, I need to hear that.
Yeah,
Tell me something
that's
else.
from his own
Okay,
words.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
And also the other thing that you brought to light inside of my knowledge, I just want to say really quick, was the whole thing with P. Diddy. You said that it wasn't just Ciroc. It was that he was being greedy, and he was like all about the Ciroc stuff, and he wanted to create another lawsuit after a lawsuit, and then that was messing with what was it? It was the like rock art,
Well,
like
basically with them is that he didn't have any ownership rights, and he wanted ownership
it's like
rights from
messing with
So he wanted to have ownership of that brand because he didn't own the brand.
BlackRock.
Well, he knows C-Rock, but he wanted to own it. He wanted like not
But
own it.
BlackRock owns it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. He wanted a piece of it at least. He didn't own anything, I believe. I believe he was getting like a
I'm gonna put you
license.
on full screen, hon. Sorry, I have to keep this at the screen.
I think he had a sponsorship deal or some kind of deal, sponsorship type of deal, but he got greedy. And and I think that's when they really like, oh, really? You know who we are? You know who we know, who runs this show. And I think that's what this is really about. But I don't know how the Jay-Z thing works out in that theory because again, only the fact that maybe he dragged him by accident into a total destruction of his career. But I think it just started with Ciroc and him trying to get some kind of like power play that went south. It just did not work out because you don't mess with those people. You do not mess with the alcohol people. I'm telling you right now, there's some people in the world that you can mess with, not the alcohol people. That's a very tight circle. It's a very hard. Like I work with people who do tequila and stuff like that, different brands, and to be in that space, they're all billionaires. It's not like like your homie, does a record label. Like this is these are some old family money. You know what I'm saying? Hennessy and all, just old money. Like you're not dealing with a bunch of like people that can destroy your life. And so I think that's what happened there. Again, maybe not all the way. And again, maybe it's an Illuminati thing. I don't mean Illuminati like it's one person. I'm just saying that there's a lot of different groups of power, family that come from power, right? Whether it's Rothschilds or whatever. Like, I think it has something to do with that. Because the bottom line is this: look, people that are really doing the worst of these crimes are getting away with it. These are just the pawns, right? These are just the guys that we know, and they're gonna bury these guys so that other guys can get away with it. So even though they're gonna catch Jay-Z, they're gonna catch P Diddy. The ones who they're not gonna catch are the ones who own the record label. They're the ones who own the guy who owns the record label or really own something. Those are the guys that are, you don't even know their name because they're under like 10 different corporations. Like their names are so big, like, oh, they own this thing, and that thing goes back to like 10 different things. Again, I know this from being around these people, being around rich people. Like they don't just put themselves out there. Like they have 10 different corporations separations, right? So
Absolutely. And just like Russia, like I know with working in Miami, like if you go to any club there in Miami, it doesn't matter if you're on South Beach or if you're on Brickell. Those clubs over there, they are not owned by who you think they're owned. Okay. They're owned, their name is on that club, but it's only for a temporary time. And what they're doing is they're washing money.
well, I mean, look,
And it's
Florida's, I
no,
mean, you know
let's
how we
not
are.
bring up names,
Not
probably.
about bringing no names, but I'm just saying, Florida at the end of the day it's
Okay.
so. Look, if you're in the beach, they have those stores on South Beach, where the T-shirt for the Florida those things are always empty. Like what the heck, we know that's laundry. You go to those stores on the beach, and they'd be like pink T-shirts and like the Florida T-shirts, and the little
Well, those are,
souvenirs. But it's always empty. No one's buying stuff. Like who's buying stuff there? Nobody. So, but Florida's always been that kind of city. I mean, so Florida's
but that
known.
those people recycle their names on the beach. Those club names are there for a reason and a season. And I think anybody that knows that would be you and I, because how many times did we do club openings? And how many times did we do productions and maintain like, the event planning and made sure everybody showed up, everybody had shirts? Like how many times?
A lot of times, and that's what I'm trying to say. When you do all those kind of events, you already know you're doing with a lot of different people, right? And the club owner, the promoter, this person and that person. And yeah, it gets.
But then all of a sudden, after their big debut, and they run their club for 3 years, and you know that they're not from the United States, where does their money go?
Well, again, that's what I'm trying to say. But they all do that, like all the fad has
They
run
all
its
recycle
course.
their money.
The fad has run its course. Shut that restaurant down, build a new restaurant, new company name. Somebody else runs it, not even them. Again, I'm just telling you from I've seen enough, and I know enough to know that what he did. He went there to get some power play. It backfired. Maybe it backfired to the point where like we tired of all y'all niggas. We're gonna take everybody to like, that's the only option we have at this point. Like, okay, we're tired of you, Diddy. We're tired of you, Jay-Z. Everybody, we're gonna, I mean, it could be that bad. But again, these people are doing sick stuff. They're doing sick stuff to young people,
Horrible things.
and but they saw it from their masters. They didn't learn that from themselves. They learned that from the people
They
above
had
them.
to learn it
You
from
know,
the people above them.
and these are the Clyde Davises. These are the head of these labels, which are also done a lot of weirdo stuff. So we don't know, but we know that there's a lot of smoke where there's fire type situations going on here. And this, like I said, the Jay-Z story. If anybody's with me on taking bets that he's in, by the end of next year, we're gonna have that book called Survivor by Beyonce. Her telling her the story how she survived this monster of a person and she's gonna be on like on all the talk shows, and
Hey,
they're gonna PR this
this
thing
is where
to no
I
end.
feel like you're wrong, and I feel like
What?
you're wrong.
Go ahead.
You're wrong.
Tell
She
me why.
spoke this a long time ago when she was pregnant, before she was pregnant. I actually can show you the video where I know that she was going to have a designer baby. Because that's when I was in LA. But
Well,
like,
no, I've
okay,
heard about
that's
that.
too
Yeah.
much. But I'm saying the whole thing with her being a victim, I know that she's not a fucking victim. She is an accomplice.
Of course she
So that
is.
is
Yeah, she's a witch. No,
absolutely.
I'm
She
with you
went
on
with
that.
the
No,
gangster lifestyle.
I'm not saying she's not a witch. She's absolutely a
But
witch.
did I? No, no, no. He. All right. I'm gonna pull it up right now. We have to show this because this is where like I feel like she came to her breaking point. And I have met like Beyonce like on once, and I seen her, and she was very. It wasn't nothing. But like the second time, I heard way more stories from all the gays, and I was just like, oh, well, she seems pretty open. She seems pretty cool. But the whole thing with Lemonade, okay, with her music. Let me go over here real quick. Lemonade, Beyonce. Let me just go to the beginning because I feel like this part needs to be heard as far as Beyonce's story. I'm not making up excuses. I'm
Making
not doing anything. I
excuses.
know you think that. Stop it.
Don't defend that witch. Burn her.
I hear you. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is it. Like, I just want, like, this is how it was for her. And I can hear it and I can feel it and I know it.
Oh boy.
So I might not, like, know on her level, of course, but I know it. Hold on. No, that's not it. Here we go. This is the
No.
beginning.
Oh God.
Just mute your mic. I know.
Like some witch stuff.
Just feel it. Shut up.
I
Let
don't
me
want to.
put you up right now.
Fasted for 60 days. Wore white, abstained from mirrors, abstained from sex.
Hmm.
Another word.
Hmm.
That time my hair I grew past my ankles. Slept on a mat on the floor. I swallowed a sword. I levitated. That's my fandom was baptized in a river. That I mean, I whipped my own the dominion I tried to threw myself into a volcano. I drank the blood and that alone begged and meant the waste for God. I crossed myself and thought, devil, grew thickened skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book, but still inside me coiled. What's the need to know? Are you cheating on me? Are you cheating
No, I gotta play this part now. He's gonna hate me.
you don't love you like I love you. Love you like I love you. Back up, they don't love you like I love you. Step down, they don't love you like I love you. See, there's no other man above you. What a way to treat the girl that loves you. Well, they don't like I love you.
Do you understand that?
It don't feel right, 'cause it ain't right, especially coming up after midnight. I smell your secrets, and I'm not too perfect to ever feel this worthless. How did it come down to this? Going through your call list. I don't want to lose my pride, but I'ma fuck me up a bitch. Know that I kept it sexy and what something that I'm missing, maybe my head for one. What was looking just so crazy, just so crazy. Or like you walked all over lately, I rap crazy. They don't love you like I love you. Slow down, they don't love you.
Just saying.
Oh my
Funny.
goodness. Oh my god. It's horrible. Look, yes, you proved that she's a witch more than she already was a witch. That's not hard. That's not easy to do. She's in there talking about levitating and God knows what. I mean, this is, look, again, these are two evil people who sold themselves out a long time ago. Planned Parenthood buddies,
True.
kill baby buddies over there. And I pray for them. I pray they get saved. I pray God rescues them from the pit of hell. I really do, because at the end of the day, no one wants. I don't want anyone to go to hell. And again, it's really we should. I don't want to beat anyone down. I even be honest. I don't like none of these. I don't like their music. I don't like what they stand for. But I'm not going to
You
be here like,
don't.
oh, go to hell. I'm not. I'm not doing that. But I just don't like what they stand for, and I think that they're doing it on purpose. I think that's pretty clear now because they've been doing it for a long time. And if you do the music, if you do the history on music, especially, a lot of these guys, a lot of these songwriters who write these pop songs are demonically infested people who will tell you this to your face if you're close to them. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I get high and I do yoga and all this crazy stuff, and I get these lyrics." Like they'll tell you this stuff. So at the end of the day, I know that music industry very well, and I know that it's not by accident that you have like 10 producers in the whole world who make the biggest hits. Like literally, there's 10 guys out there who just have like, oh, that's the one who makes the hits. You know what I'm saying? So who makes those pop song hits? Some other Taylor Swift and the Beyonces and all
Yeah.
that stuff, the Britney Spears ish kind of people. And so those people are all messed up, man. They're messed up in a big way, and they don't even know what it is to be like normal. They don't even know what that's like. Everything's about fame and living that luxury life that they've
Got fucked up.
got accustomed to. So
They don't know.
yeah, they
I
don't.
can see how easy that would be to get entrapped in because of how I ended up in Miami when I won the $71,000 on my 21st birthday, and I never went home. Like, I never thought anything bad would happen to me, and look at everything that I went through.
Yeah. Again, but then Beyonce, that's a situation where I remember Destiny's Child was one of the studios I worked at when I first started, and they were really local people. Like people knew them locally a lot in Miami, and then I never heard about them really after she blew up. I never really heard of them again. But that's how it was back then. It was very close in the industry. Still kind of is, obviously. But at the end of the day, again, there's a difference of that time frame when you open those doors, and those doors are real. There are real doors that you can go into, and people are gonna make you do stuff you don't want to do. I've heard friends tell me that. I've seen some things. Those doors are real, and that's the bottom line. There's doors that these people will reach. They're like, "Hey, you want this full fame? There's no one can touch you fame. Well, you gotta do this," and they do it.
It's
Like,
true.
why do we think these people
What
are above
about
God?
our friend? He's such a good R&B and R&B singer. I'm not gonna name his name, but didn't they like basically want him to sign on the blooded line? Like they're like, "We like you. You are signed. We can do this and that for you." Remember?
Yeah, they want him to do some gay stuff.
Yeah, that's what they
And
wanted. And this
take
was,
pictures
I've
and
known
stuff.
you for how long now?
Over
Let's
10
see if you
years.
know.
Over
Yeah,
11, yeah. But
11 years.
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like that stuff is, that stuff is real. You get into those situations, and you gotta say no. Like Cat Williams said, P Diddy wants a party, but you gotta tell him no.
Tell him no.
That's
You
real.
just gotta
As
tell
real
him
as it
no.
gets. You gotta tell him no. It's real as it gets because it sounds funny on paper, but if you ever been in those rooms and the allure of that
Yeah,
world, of
it's
free
amazing. It'll
everything.
make you think twice.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure,
did
for sure.
also get, yeah. It's crazy.
Everything's for free in that world, and nothing's real. I've been in those situations. Okay, I've been in that
Hmm.
situation where the food is. I've been in rooms with celebrities where it's like there's so much food,
I've
it'll break
seen
your
pictures of
it'll
that.
break your heart. You know what I mean? Like there's so much food. There's just the hotels bring up all this food and no one eats it. And I'm just there
It's
hanging out next to the
king
food.
crab this size that
Oh
he
yeah,
sent
yeah.
me pictures
The
of.
best food, you know what I mean? And you're there like about to cry.
Fire.
Like, man, I feel so bad for starving kids, and you're there like in this weird place. I'm
That's
saying
him too.
after a while, your brain, just gets lost in that, and you either give into it or you don't. But it's a really dark place, I think, because you get used to that. Like I'm telling you, literally anything you want is yours, whether it's alcohol or food. I mean, I remember one of the birthday parties I went to was steak, boxes of it, you know what I mean, and fries everywhere, and everything that you would think of, and champagne, Cristal, and all of it, and you're there like, wow, and you're not paying for anything. It's just being brought to your room, right? Because you're a celebrity. So again, I don't beat up on these people for that reason, because
No, yeah, you shouldn't.
at the end
Like,
of the day,
I
like,
would go to boutiques and I would say, oh, yeah, I work for VIP television and I'm looking for a new outfit to wear. They would throw clothes at me, and they would be like, oh, yeah, if you're going to feature us on your show, then here, you can have this and have that. And that
it's
was
a
super helpful. Like, all I said was I work for VIP TV. I never said I was going to put you on the show.
yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it
Yeah,
gets so nice.
he sounds hungry. Someone said, "Okay, I'm getting a little hungry. My bad." But
Mm,
no, again, it's bringing me back to those days or moments where I'm like, man, this is wild. You know what I mean? Like those experiences. And that's why I said with them, it is what it is. I try not to. I try to be more kind because I've been humbled
I'm
many
happy to
times.
hear that.
I've had people that I thought suck because their music sucks, and then they were super nice to me in person. It's happened to me.
Good.
The girl from the City Girls,
Oh,
the girl from City Girls, one of the blah
which
blah
one?
JT,
JT. Y'all
yeah,
remember her name. I gotta
from
find
City
her.
Girls. I hate their music because it's City Girls. It's just like hood rap music. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wait. Is she the lighter skinned girl?
No, the darker one.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh God, I gotta work with the City Girls today. That's me, right? I'm all like grouchy. Gotta work with these
I can
stupid
hear
City
you
Girls.
now.
Think they're
She hates
stupid.
that
They're
shit.
stupid music. And I had a really rough day because my producer was ratting me and just bugging me and being a jerk. And just like oh, do this, move over here, and obviously after a point, you just kind of after 10 hours,
That shit.
you can see my face just showing my anger, and JT's like looks at me, and right there, I'm right there in front of her. She's watching me suffer, and she looks at me and is like, "It's okay, baby, don't worry about it. It's gonna be all right." Like, don't
Good.
worry, And I was like, "Well, I got humbled, So she was the nicest person that day. The person I didn't want to talk to, the person I was here judging her music,
When did this happen? Like, what were
Oh, that
you
was like
doing the night before?
I don't know. That was a long time ago. Like for
Oh,
yeah. So, but it was just interesting. I've been humbled like that. Like, man, you can't, can't say nothing.
good.
So just pray for them, and if you can give them a good word, give them a good word.
Yeah.
That's about it. Because at the end of the day, like there's a lot to fight for out here. You gotta pray for people that get saved. So, and hopefully do our part too. Give them a word or live
Well, I
it so
have
they
a
can see it.
question. Russ, sorry. Well, do you mind if I bring somebody else up on the panel to
Well,
ask you questions?
I love to,
Are
but I
you
have to
ready
go.
to go to bed?
I have to go. It's already
Okay.
it's almost 4. But
Good night.
good
Thank
night,
you
everybody. It's good
so much.
talking. Oh, you're
You
welcome.
really stuck through all this with me because I was trying to figure out how to do this with my phone because I have to buy a new computer. So I really appreciate you.
No,
Thank you.
it was great. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun here. So it's really cool combos and good.
I love
Everyone's throwing
special
good
things.
insight. So so thank you, everybody. It was fun. Definitely a good time.
Thank you. And sweet dreams. Good night and happy holidays.
You too.
God
Happy
bless
holidays.
you.
God bless everybody.
Amen.
Wait, how do I get out of here?
Let's see.
Let me see. I got it.
You just gotta, yep. Anybody want to come up on panel? Let me just try to send the link. I don't know how to do it. Vortex, I'm so happy to see you here. Hello. I hope this does it. Vortex. Special K, of course. Goblin Majesty's coming up on my panel. I know that's right. Let's see. It's good to see everybody, though. And it's good to kind of talk about stuff. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I've been excited for like years, but this stuff about Jaguar, I love her. I love her. I'm excited. Neil. Well, I know that Juan was looking through everything, so I don't know. I'm gonna call him right now and tell him thank you. He's not from the world, he's demonic. I agree. And I still think that he's got a baby that is I'll never forget when I found out and what I was watching and how like the download came to me is how she is a designer baby. Do I not believe that it came from Beyonce's womb? No, I do not understand that and I don't care. But do I wonder about her birth? I definitely do. And I'll never forget that year. Let's see. I'm bad at this on my phone.
Don't let me go.
Run, antelope. Run, zebras.
Still believe in everyone. When the body was free, when life is unfair, when the will has to be.
Should I trigger them? Nah. Peace out then.